over the course of
Okay, just sit down, please.
President Trump receives non-stop criticism in the press. We agree that criticism is necessary when a president makes mistakes. But where are the voices expressing appreciation for the good things Trump has done?
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person.
It's unfair always to criticize and never recognize any of the good things a president has done for our country. It might be a refreshing change to recall some of the remarkable, nation-changing good things that Trump has accomplished for America. Here is our personal list of 10 good things President Trump has done for America. Building a stronger U.S. military. Reversing the massive budget cuts that had seriously weakened our military under the Obama administration. President Trump has increased military spending by nearly $150 billion per year, from $605 billion in 2016 to $750 billion, steadily rebuilding U.S. military readiness. Expanding educational freedom. President Trump appointed Betsy DeVos, one of America's leading advocates for greater school choice, to be Secretary of Education, resulting in rising support for charter schools, taxpayer-funded vouchers, and tax credits for private school vouchers. Programs aimed at expanding options for parents, looking beyond traditional public schools as she brings attention to them. Defeating ISIS. President Trump gave our military forces the freedom to defeat ISIS and drive them out of large sections of Iraq and Syria, which they did. This is far superior to the Democratic policy of inaction and appeasement, which had allowed ISIS to take over large areas of the Middle East. Under President Trump's leadership, U.S. military forces located and killed ISIS founder and terrorist leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, on October 26 and 27, 2019. President Trump also directed the killing of Iranian terrorist mastermind Qasem Soleimani on January 2, 2020. Standing with Israel. Reversing President Obama's repeated marginalization and shunning of Israel, President Trump has reaffirmed our commitment to support and defend Israel. He decisively moved the United States Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem,
Urging the federal government to relocate the American embassy to Jerusalem.
He recognized the Golan Heights as part of Israel. He has welcomed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to the White House several times and has repeatedly affirmed our support for Israel. I recently read in the Jerusalem Post a statement that Israel has never had a better friend in the White House than Donald Trump. Sending weapons to Ukraine. Whereas President Obama only sent humanitarian aid, President Trump authorized the selling of actual military equipment to Ukraine, including Javelin missiles, which were necessary to defend against Russian aggression. Withdrawing from the Iran nuclear deal.
If we do nothing, we know exactly what will happen.
President Trump withdrew the U.S. from the Iran nuclear deal, called the Joint Comprehensive Plan for Action, which would have allowed Iran to build a nuclear bomb within the next few years.
We'll withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal.
Religious freedom and freedom of conscience. President Trump's administration has repeatedly and continually worked to defend religious freedom, and his Justice Department has defended religious freedom in numerous court cases, such as supporting the case of Colorado cake designer Jack Phillips at the Supreme Court. Phillips faced massive fines for politely declining to design a cake celebrating a same-sex wedding.
I was thrilled.
And the right of faith-based organizations not to be forced to provide access to abortifacients through their health care plans, overturning the Obamacare HHS regulation that had forced them to do so. Energy production and energy independence. President Trump gave approval to the Keystone Pipeline, the Dakota Access Pipeline, and oil production from the Alaska National Wildlife Refuge, a vast uninhabited region which could produce up to 20% of our petroleum needs. His administration also granted more permits for mining of oil, gas, and coal from federal lands. The result has been lower energy prices, which benefits everyone, and also U.S. energy independence, so that we are now becoming the leading exporter rather than a net importer of energy. Protecting freedom of speech on college campuses. President Trump issued an executive order giving more specific protections to freedom of speech on college campuses by threatening the loss of federal research dollars if they do not allow for free speech for all students and faculty members, On many campuses, conservative and religious students and faculty members have had their views censored or have faced retribution for expressing conservative or faith-based views. Protections against false accusation on college campuses. President Trump's administration has restored many due process guidelines that universities must follow in processing the Title IV accusations of sexual assault on university campuses. Protecting boys and girls' bathrooms, locker rooms, and sports teams. On February 22, 2017, President Trump directed the Department of Education to revoke the Obama administration's guidance letter that had directed schools to allow children who claimed to be transgender to use the bathrooms, locker rooms, and showers of their choice, and to join sports teams of their choice, even when their choices differed from their biological sex.
Sports also helps kids stay off the street and stay out of trouble.
In a related decision, President Trump issued an executive order banning transgender persons from entering our military forces, which would have allowed biological males free access to women's bathrooms, locker rooms, and showers, and similarly allowed biological females to enter men's facilities. President Trump's order was upheld by the Supreme Court, which lifted the block on the order by a 5-4 vote. While litigation will continue, the order stands for now. With this last point from our personal list, we've come to the end of this video. Which quality of Trump do you like from our list? What qualities do you look for in an ideal American president? Comment below. And if you haven't subscribed to American Truth, then what are you waiting for? Subscribe to American Truth and turn on that bell icon so that you don't miss any of our new videos in the future. Until then, keep watching American Truth.